back in the day.
Leave it there.
Oh, I was big on hopscotch.
There's plenty of them.
You know, I'd say.
All right, I'll go ahead and get us started. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Unfortunately, our nice weather stint has come to a halt, but overall, I can't complain. The winter hasn't been too bad this year. We haven't had, I'm not going to say anything. The weather hasn't been too bad. That's all I'll say. Okay. Today we have our usual lineup. We're going to do some fun things, get our bodies moving, working, all that good stuff. But first, we have to start with our warm-up. We'll do our marches in 3, 2, 1. Now, if you're doing this at home, make sure that your workout space stays clear. Don't have your weights in your way, no water bottle, dog's not going to trip you, none of that. Always want to keep it clear. Correct. If you have a partner that you're working with, you should be able to do this, and you're not touching each other, we sports rules. If you are, one of you needs to scooch. Move the coffee table out of the way, one of you goes in the kitchen, I don't care. Whatever you have to do, just make sure you have enough space to work out. Inside steps left. Out together, out together. Perfect. Gotta warm up that adductor complex. Not many of us walk like crabs. Though some of us are crabs when we haven't had enough caffeine. Myself included. 3, 2, 1, stand. About hip width apart with your feet. Core is embraced, belly button pulled towards your spine. Swimmer shoulders forward. Remember, don't rotate when you do this. We're not actually in water. There's no buoyancy, so our low backs don't have any support if you do that. Now, if you need little smaller movements, because maybe that big wide stroke is too much for you, that's perfectly fine. All I care about is warming up our bodies and getting us ready for exercise, not so much range of motion. Reverse directions. Same thing, if you need a little smaller range of motion, go ahead and take it. You go to where your body lets you. Rest. Okay. Last but not least, we're doing chest openers. So you're going to cross over, open up back, cross again, switch which arm is on top. Open up, cross, switch, open, 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 2 more, cross, switch, open, last cross, switch, open, rest. Okay, go ahead and grab your ropes. Sip of water if you need it. Now, if you're at home and you don't have one of these little handy-dandy ropes, you can grab a hand towel, but when you're grabbing the hand towel, make sure that it's straight. It's not looping down all floppy. I want some resistance on it. For those of us in studio, you're going to go ahead and put your thumbs through the little loops. And we're going to bring it up and down to pelvis with a little swing back. This is what it looks like from behind. Slight push back. You're not going crazy. I'm not looking for speed. I'm looking for control. If I'm going up and you're going down, I don't care. All I care about is just getting in this motion and movement. You should feel this in your triceps, your lats, and a little bit of chest. If you feel this in your elbows, it means you're pushing too far back. I want triceps working, not elbows working. Very important distinction. Last one, rest. Okay. Now, for those of us here, we're going to grab at the knot so that you have a little bit of pull. You're at home, kind of make towards the ends with your towels that you have it here, straight line. It's gonna come up and back down. If you need to modify, you're just stopping at the base of your skull. You're not going quite as deep with it. You'll still open up your chest, shoulders, and traps. It just won't be as deep. That's the only difference. If you feel this in your low back, what that means is you're scrunching down or leaning back each time. I want you to stay nice and tall. One more. And rest. For those of us here, we're going to double up on our loops. If you're at home, you're just gonna grab closer to the center. The closer you are to the center of that hand towel, the more resistance you have. But if you have your loops, double up. We're gonna push them back, or push them forward and pull them back. Push forward, pull back. Good. This mimics a push-up. It engages a lot of the same muscle groups. I just won't be having you on the floor. We don't do floor work in this program. If you want a program that has lots of floor work, I would recommend Pilates. But Pilates is harder than you think. It's not just lying on your back the whole time. You're doing a lot of work. Chest is probably starting to burn. That's a good thing. It means your muscles are working. Remember, tightness, burning, totally normal. Pulling, sharp, shooting, stabbing, that's pain. That's your body saying back off. 2 more. Last one. Rest. Set your rope aside. Sip of water if you need it. Okay, we are going into our cardio portion. I know, you're all so very excited. It's best that I find that we start a little bit earlier when you guys are fresher, because for a lot of people, the cardio portion is the hardest portion of the class. So I want to get you while you're fresh and you're not too tired just yet. If you have heart or lung problems, I only want you taking the modifications. Do not push it. At any point, if your heart rate is too high or you feel too out of breath, what I want you to do is breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, 5 times, then take 5 side steps each direction. So this is 1, 1, 2, 2, so on and so forth. Okay, now that the lawyers are happy, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our cardio portion. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, march or walk. We're always gonna come back to the march or walk because I always want us to be in constant movement, but I'm never gonna do any kind of plyometric, explosive, crazy stuff. Our first move is going to be a variation on our combo punches. You're going to grab, pull, grab, pull, grab, pull, grab, pull, up, pull, out, pull, out, pull, up, pull, out, pull, out, pull, up, pull, out, pull, out, pull. When you do this, remember you're not snapping your arms, it's an extension. Up, pull, out, pull, out, pull, up, pull, out, pull. If you need to modify, you're just slowing down the pace. Up, pull, out, pull, up, pull, out, pull, out, pull, out, pull, back to your march or walk. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Good. Made you think a little bit, didn't I? You awake now, huh? Gotta keep your mind and body engaged. That way you don't zone out on me, thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner. Don't really feel like cooking, but nobody's gonna cook for you if you don't. Modified jumping jacks are next in 5, 4, wait, hold on. We sports rules, you're not touching each other. If you are, somebody needs to scoop. Same for you at home. Now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If my left leg is going out and your right is, I don't care. All I care about is getting these in. Now, if you need to modify, you're taking smaller range of motion with your taps and you're slowing down the speed. Otherwise, you're sticking to standard. Remember, I want that nice diaphragmatic breathing the entire time. You're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Getting in enough, sufficient oxygen is highly, highly, highly important during our cardio segments. We're doing each move for 45 seconds. It's a challenge. Back to your march or walk. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Good. Next, we're going to do our forwards and backs, so spread out in the aisles if you're here. If you're at home and you're working with limited space, if you can't do the 3 steps forward and back, just do 2, even if it's just 1, 2, kind of a cha-cha thing. Whatever you need to do with your space. All right, we're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Forward, 2, 3, clap, clap, back, 2, 3, clap, clap. Back to your chair, march or walk. We're almost there at the finish line. We got one more move after this, then we'll go into our cardio cool down, and then we're gonna do some mobility stuff. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Good. Modified jump ropes are coming up. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if the standard version feels like it's a little too much for you, you can step it out instead. Just make sure you have that invisible jump rope. People always come by to peek in my class when I look crazy. They're like, I look like I'm doing charades. That's fine though. If I didn't look crazy, then it wouldn't look as enticing. It's part of my marketing scheme. Almost there, you got 10 seconds. You can do anything for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sidestep it out. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Good. Always want to bring our heart rate back down to baseline or as close as possible before sitting down. That way, our blood pressure stays stable and none of us pass out. Gentle walks. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Good. Rest. Come down to seated. Sip of water is mandatory. If you didn't bring it, naughty, naughty. Okay, mobility portion. Just like with any of our stretches, remember, do not force it. If you can't touch your toe at a point or you can't get your leg a little flatter, I don't want you pushing it down. I don't want you forcing it because it's no longer a stretch at that point, it's a straight. Do what your body lets you to do, and just know that over time, you'll improve and you'll be able to get closer. All right, we're gonna start with our seated figure 4. So our left leg is staying bent. Our right leg crosses over either with calf, with shin, or with ankle. Now, when you do this, you're about 2-3 inches above the knee. You're not directly on top of the knee. If you feel pressure on your knee, scoot back a little bit with the other leg, not your butt. Now, you want to hold each stretch for at least 30 seconds. That's how long it takes for a response from your body called the Golgi tendon organ. What that is a signal from your muscles to your brain saying, okay, the elongation has happened, I can release that pressure. That's why I have us hold it for at least 30 seconds. It's not to torture you, it's to make sure you get the maximum benefit. And if I yap away, it distracts you from the fact that it's been 30. Okay, now I can do the other side, same thing. So you're either crossing over with calf, with shin, or with ankle. But you're staying 2-3 inches above the knee. If you feel pressure on your knee right now, you're doing it wrong, and you need to scoot your leg back a little bit. One thing that can help to cheat to scoot it is to use your pants to pull it back a little bit. I don't care how you do it, as long as it gets done.
That worked.
Yes, methodology means nothing, only end results. Yep, just hike it right up there. I like it. And rest. Okay. Same thing as before. Our left leg is staying bent. Right leg comes out straight, reaching forward with the right hand. If you can touch your toes, awesome. Otherwise, just go to where your body lets you. Just make sure that opposite hand isn't on top of the knee. On top of the quad is fine, but not the knee. You don't want to put too much pressure on your MCL. Won't end super great for you. And if you're not getting as far down as say I am, don't worry, I'm cheating genetically, and I am only 65 years young, so I have a little bit of youth advantage on my side. The elasticity has not yet left me, so I'm very blessed. And come back up. Have to be even, so same thing, other side. Now the left leg comes out straight, reaching forward with the left hand. If you can touch your toes, awesome. Otherwise, just go to where your body lets you. Now, if you cannot get your leg perfectly straight, because maybe your pants are restrictive or your hamstrings are extra tight and you need a little micro bend in your knee, that's fine. I don't want you locking out your knee to the point where you're feeling pressure in it. I know, I'm very freakish about the knee things, but trust me, I can speak from experience. You do not want knee problems. And bring it back up. Okay. Next one is going to look familiar. We're just going to be doing it seated, because that adds a little extra something to it. So, left arm comes down, palm is facing me, right ear to right shoulder, and if you want that intensification, you can gently press down on your temple. However, if the press down feels like it's too much, you don't have to do it. It's just an option. Rest. Got to be even. So now the right arm comes down, palms facing me, left ear to left shoulder, and if you like, you can take that little intensification. Rest. Okay. Go ahead and grab your weights if you have them. We're going to start seated, do some of our leg work. Weights are resting on top of your quads, not on top of your knees. Very important distinction. We're going to do alternating leg raises with a hold. So, watch it first, and then try it on your own. My right leg lifts up, 2, 3, 4, down. Then I switch to the left, up, 2, 3, 4, down. When you do this, posture is still nice and straight and strong. The apple is on top of your head, it's not falling off. And you don't lean back with the lift, you're staying steady. Okay, let's go ahead and try it, starting with the right. Up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, down. Quick interjection, if at any point this feels like it's a little too much, you can set your weights down. Up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, last up, 2, 3, 4, down. Okay, calf raises are next, so toes are going to point up and you're coming back down. Now, I don't want you going full ballerina mode on me because then you're going to put stress on your ankles. Just focus on lifting those heels off the ground. Beautiful. And you'll really start to feel this in your calves. I'm not looking for speed, I'm looking for control. So what I don't want is you going up, down, up, down, up, down. We're not doing that kind of crazy plyo nonsense. We're doing nice, slow, and controlled contractions. I want muscular contraction, not muscular momentum. Momentum gives you nothing. Contraction gives you everything. You got 2 more. Last one. Rest. Okay. You can set one weight aside. you're going to grab your ball. It's going to go under your heel. Gonna anchor on your chair. You're gonna roll the ball out and roll it back in. Roll the ball out, roll it back in. Doesn't seem like much at first, but trust me, doing this for the full 45 seconds, you're gonna start to notice it. And just make sure that weight is staying on top of your quad and not your knee. And this is nice and slow and controlled so that you don't put undue pressure on that knee. Rest. Switching sides. Now, the further out you are on your chair, the harder this is going to be. Don't scoop so much that you fall off. Rolling it out and back in. Rolling it out and back in. Rolling it out, back in. Now, this may not seem as hard as the other ones because it's not isometric and we're actually using more muscle recruitment. We're not using just your quads like before. We're using your quads, your glutes, and a little bit of your hamstrings. Calf works too. So you have more muscles working so it feels less laborious, but trust me, it's just as effective. And rest. Okay. You can go ahead and set your ball aside. Sip of water if you need it. We're done with the ropes for today, so little tip, if your golf balls keep rolling away from you, what you can do is put your rope here in kind of like a circle, then put them there, and that keeps them from rolling away. Don't put it directly in front of you, I'm just doing that as a demo. Okay, we're gonna come up to standing. Now, you're going to turn your weight so your palms are facing you. Then you're going to bring them up and back down. Bring them up and back down. If you need to modify, it's a 1, 1. So it's like you're doing a forearm raise, but you're stopping at the midpoint. So instead of doing this, you're doing this. Perfect. One more. Rest. Turn your weight so the numbers are facing me. You're gonna bring your right arm up and down. Now left arm up and down. Notice how I'm not swinging. You're using muscular contraction. If at any point this feels like too much, you can do this without the weight. Or if it's causing you pain, it is okay to skip an exercise if it's painful. I want you to work through discomfort. That is totally fine, but never try to work through pain because that's what results in injury. Rest. Okay. Those ones were harder. Congratulations, you made it through. I'm very proud of you all. You didn't give up, you pushed through, you should be proud of yourselves too. Now, weights are staying in the same position. We're doing alternating supine bicep curls. That's the one where you're kind of going like a pirate, so you're bringing it in, coming back down, switching to the other side, bringing it in, coming back down. If you feel this in your elbow, it means one of two things. Either your weights are too heavy or you're twisting instead of coming relatively straight. If you twist it, you're gonna feel it in your elbow, so don't do that. The This is a 1-1 count, so it's gonna feel like it takes forever. But I can't have us cheating and trying to do 2 at the same time. You're just gonna bump your weights into each other. If I'm going left and you're going right, I don't care. All I care about is us getting in that movement, getting our bodies working, getting us nice and strong. Rest. Okay. We are going to do a little something different. I am going to turn my chair kind of towards the side just for demo purposes. Make sure your space is clear. That's for you in studio and for me. 1 weight goes on the chair. You're gonna take a split leg stance. You're rolling your weight up, and we're doing tricep kickbacks. Remember, we're not swinging, we're doing this slow and controlled. Beautiful. You can do this without the weight if the weight feels like it's too much. One more. Rest. Come to the other side and switch which leg you have in front. Rolling it up into your armpit, straightening out, rolling back in. Beautiful. If you're doing this at home, make sure you are not using a chair that has wheels. If you have to, do this up against a wall. I don't care. Whatever you do, just make sure it is a stable surface. Last one. Rest. Pick up your other weight again. We're going to work the smaller muscles of our biceps, our bicep femoris. So, we're doing our hammer curls. Numbers of your weights are facing me. You're going to curl it up and bring it back down. If you need to modify, you're doing a 1, 1. Make sure you don't go so high that you hit yourself in the chest. It's not gonna feel too great, especially if you're a woman. That's gonna really hurt. Us guys, suck it up if you hit yourself in the chest. I don't feel that bad for you. Now, I'm doing these slow and controlled for a reason. That eccentric contraction, the loading phase, is important. Concentric contraction, that's the phase where you lower it down, is equally as important, and that's how you get that extra resistance. Rest. Okay. You can go ahead and set your weights aside. Pick up your little golf balls. Sip of water if you need it. Okay. Gonna do it standing today. Adds a little extra something to it. We're going to start by bringing our palms out in front, facing the sky. If you're doing this at home and you don't have these, you can do this without anything. These just add a little extra resistance. So you're gonna squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Now I don't want you death gripping it each time to where you're digging your nails into your palm, but I also don't want little baby squeezes where you're doing nothing either. If at any point the golf balls feel like they're too much, just set them aside and do the exercises without. Rest. Now, turn. This one you can't open up your fingers all the way, obviously, because it'll fall. So, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Good. When you do this, shoulders aren't shrugged up in your ear. They're even. Beautiful. Rest. Now we're gonna do pony squeezes. So, you're gonna squeeze up, switch. You're squeezing both hands each time. This is part of the reason why we had to do this standing today, because that way our shoulders don't shrug up in our ears. Now you won't have to depend on anyone else to open those pickle jars. You guys will be strong and breaking those tops off in no time. Rest. Okay. Arms come out in front, palms facing the sky. We're gonna do similar to what we did to our warm-up. Cross, squeeze, out. Switch, squeeze, out. Switching which arm is on top each time. Engaging multiple muscle groups, because you know how I like my twofers. Saves you guys on time. Time is very precious. It's the one resource in the world that you can never get back when you spend it. There are no refunds on time. Last one, rest. Okay, go ahead and set these aside. Today is going to be a little bit different than our normal. We're doing dynamics today. So instead of a dynamic stretch, static stretch, dynamic stretch, static stretch, we're doing 2 dynamic stretches for our muscle groups back to back. So, we will start with our neck. You're going to slowly turn your head to one direction and look down. We'll do a 4 count. We'll come up and do the same thing other side. I'll show you what I mean. So, we're going to turn left or right, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, center, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, right, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, center, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. Left, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, center, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, right, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, center, 2, 3, 4, rest. Okay. Next one is gonna look kind of goofy, but trust me, it'll work. So, we're going to start with our arms behind our back. You're gonna roll your head up and over to one side. Roll your head up and over to the other. Roll it up and over. Roll it up and over. Now switch which arm is on top. Roll it up and over. 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 And rest. Okay. Gonna start with shoulder rolls. So, rolling them forward. Now, if you need to modify, maybe you have tight shoulders or some shoulder problems, keep your arms at your side and do your rolls. That'll give you smaller range of motion and you won't have to go as crazy with it. Now, when you do these, what I don't want is them coming all the way up into your ears. You're staying at shoulder level. level. See, even I mess up sometimes. It's okay, nobody's perfect. I might fumble, I might stumble, but what you will never see me do is quit. And reverse directions, beautiful. Same thing, if you need to modify, keep your shoulders and your arms at your side. Otherwise, stick to the standard. Rest. Okay, arms come out in a T. You're not going up high, you're not all the way down low, you're in a nice T. We're gonna do circles forward. If you need to modify, you're doing little mini circles. Mini circles are fine. I'm not looking for speed, I'm looking for control. There's very few moves in this class where I will ever be looking for speed. Control is how you get good form. Now, you might be starting to feel this a little in your upper back. That's a good thing. It means that your traps and your lats are engaged as well as your shoulders. Reverse directions. Same thing. If you need a smaller range of motion, just do mini circles. Perfect. Rest. Okay, we're gonna do chest squeeze openers. So, you're gonna pull, release, pull, release. If your fingers have to just be spread because your palms don't touch, that's fine. I just care about the pull and release. Pull, release, pull, release. When you're doing the pull though, you're not yanking with all your might. It's a nice, gentle pull back, release, 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 rest. Bear hugs are next. You don't have to death grip yourself. What I don't want to hear is, don't be slapping yourself silly. Not getting you ready for boxing class. This is Fit Over 50. If you want kickboxing, we have that available at night, but that won't be here. So, you're gonna squeeze tight, but not so tight you're trying to bust yourself open. It's like you're squeezing your kid that you haven't seen in a long time. You're not trying to pop their eyeballs out like those little stress dummies, but you know, you gotta give them a tight squeeze to say, I love you. Do the same thing for yourself. And make sure you're switching which arm is on top. If you have limited range of motion in your shoulders, you can do a one instead. That's perfectly fine. Rest. Okay, sip of water if you need it. Then what I want everybody to do is take their weights and put them on their chair. Make sure that your workout space is clear. Same goes for you at home. We're gonna come behind our chair. Now, if you are at home, again, same thing as always. Under no circumstances do this on an office chair, anything that has wheels, anything that's unstable. If you have to, you can hold on to the wall, do this, and switch sides, if that's what you can do. Okay, everybody here, I don't want you hunched over, because then your low back's not gonna like you. I just want you hovering in case you do stammer a little bit and lose your balance. That is all I care about. Okay, modified version of these is you're coming out with the toe touches. Otherwise, you're doing your full swings. And these are also slow and controlled. Only go to where your body lets you. If you have to do this, it means you're going too far. You should be able to stay straight and strong each time. That is how far I want you to go. Don't go crazy on me. A little bit past the legs of your chair is perfectly fine. Remember, if you had hip replacement, hip bursitis, hip arthritis, I really want you making those modifications before trying to take the leap into the bigger range of motion. And rest. Okay. Now we're going to come to one side of our chair. You're going to come up and back and bring it back in. Now, what I don't want you doing is bringing it all the way back where you're twisting your body. If you have to modify, you're stopping at 45 and coming back in. Otherwise, bend, lift, out, tap. Bend, lift, in, tap. Bend and lift, out, tap. Bend, lift, in, tap. Beautiful. Remember, if you have to stop at that 45-degree angle to modify, that is perfectly fine. One more. Rest. Switch to the other side. Now, this is a move I stole from Kempo. It's a very modified move. The regular move is you're up over the chair each time. I'm sure you can see why I modified it for this class. I do not expect anybody to do that, nor do I want you to try. If you do try, you will be tried for treason and excommunicated from the facility center. Okay, we're gonna go bend up, lift, out, tap. Bend up, lift, in, tap. Bend up, lift, out, tap, lift, in, tap. Good. Remember, if you are modifying, you're taking it to the 45 and bringing it back in. I promise you'll still get your hips and glutes working. It just won't be going quite as far to keep yourself safe. Safety is the #1 priority. It's the name of the game. You got 2 more. The in and out only counts as 1. Don't get excited. Now you're on your last one. Rest. Okay, keep your weights where they are because we're going into our balance portion next. So if you need to hold on to your chair, that is perfectly fine. Sip of water if you need it. I've been yapping away, so I'm gonna take one. Scooch that back so that the camera can see what I'm doing. Okay. Up first is our classic tree pose. So our left leg is staying straight, and you have 3 options. Toes on the ground, heel is above the ankle. You're at shin height, heel is below the knee. Or if you want to get really flexible with it, you can go to inner thigh. If you have to tap down in between, go to airplane mode, Wonder Woman mode, do your taps, hold on to your chair. Do whatever you gotta do to not fall. That is the #1 rule. Try to disperse your weight between your heel and the middle of your foot. When you go towards the side, that happens, or when you go towards the front, that happens. But watch what happens when I do middle and sole. Perfectly stable. Rest. Shake it out. Same thing, other side. Either toes on the ground, heels above the ankle. You are at shin height or inner thigh height. This is my true left side, so I'm not going to press my luck with my knee, and I am going to do shin. And that's okay. Sometimes you have limitations. One side might be better than the other, and that is all right. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean you're not trying. All it means is you got to work with what you got. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Flamingo pose is next. So, left leg stays straight. Right leg is either just hovering off the ground, at shin height, or at waist height. Never higher, because then you're going to lean backwards and that won't end well. Same thing. You can come out into airplane, you can do Wonder Woman, you can go and hold on to your chair if you need to. If you're at home and maybe the chair is not working because it's sliding on carpet or whatever, you can go to a wall. Do whatever you need to do to prevent yourself from falling. I'd much rather you tap down in between than you topple over. Toppling over is no fun. Rest. Shake it out a little bit. Gotta be even, so same thing, other side, either just hovering off the ground at shin height or at waist height. If at any point you feel like you're leaning backwards like this, that means you're doing it wrong and you need to lower your leg. You should be able to stand nice and straight and tall. That apple's still on top of your head and it ain't falling off. Apples aren't cheap these days, especially if you get the good ones from Schutz like I do. But it is worth the price. Rest. Go ahead and shake it out. Last but not least, we're doing our uneven plane. So, if you're modifying, you're just raising your heel off the ground, but notice how my toes stay on. Otherwise, we're doing our ballerina toe, as I call it, starting with the right leg. Now, in comparison to the other two, this one might seem easy, but that's because it's the least challenging. I put it towards the end. I want to get all the hard stuff out of the way while I still have you fresh, and then end on a good note, so to speak. You're creating an uneven surface, so your body still has to correct its equilibrium. You're just not doing it as intensely as the first two exercises. Promise we're still working on balance. It just may not feel quite as intense, because it's not. Rest. Shake it out. Same thing, other side. Right leg stays straight, left toes on the ground, or you're just lifting up your heel. It's whichever is best for you and your body. If pointing your toe on the ground feels like, my knee's feeling kind of funny, then I want you to go back down and just have your heel. Because of the angle we're at, we're getting flexion in your knee, which is okay. But if you have pre-existing knee problems and it starts to be like, ooh, that doesn't feel too great, then I want you to go ahead and take the modification. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Just means, unfortunately, your body is being stubborn about biomechanics. Rest. Shake it out. All right. Clear your weights and everything out of the way. Come to seated and grab your ball. If you need a sip of water, feel free to take it. I've been blabbing away, so I will. Okay, going into our proprioceptive exercises, we're going to start with our double bounce and catch. Double hand bounce and catch, sorry. Now, if you're at home and you're doing this on carpet, you might have to add a little extra power into it. It will bounce. I've tested it on carpet before. It just takes some more oomph in it in order to get it to bounce well. Catch. Switching to just the right hand. Bounce, catch, bounce, catch. Catch. Switching to the left. Bounce, catch, bounce, catch. Now, this is my true right side. So I'm struggling a bit. I'm sure most of you who are righties are also struggling a bit because for you it's the left. That's okay, embrace the challenge. I unfortunately also have one of those weird egg balls, so it keeps bouncing at an angle, but hey, that's part of the challenge. Catch. You're gonna dribble between each hand. Dribble, dribble, switch, dribble, dribble, switch. it gets away from you and me sometimes. That's what I get for trying to use my right hand, I guess. Catch. Okay, in studio, split up into groups of 3. There has to be one group of 4, that's fine. At home, if you are doing this with a partner, what I want you to do is each together, you'll bounce and catch between each other. If you're flying solo, you're gonna stick with me. But if you're partnered up, we're going to do a little variation of red light, green light. When I say green light, you're gonna bounce and catch to your partner. When I say red light, whoever has the ball, you're gonna catch and wait for me to say green light again. If you're flying solo, you're sticking with me. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, green light.
Sorry.
It's that you and me at home. We're bouncing and catching all by our lonesome. We're a party of me, myself, and I. Red light. Green light.
No, he's not a big wise guy.
Red light. Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light. I said brown, keep going. Red light. Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light. Green light. Swinging your arms back here with me. Add a little extra something into it. Red light. Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light. Back to your chair standing. Okay, feet are gonna be shoulder width apart. You're gonna give me a big inhale up. Exhale it all out. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more big inhale up. And exhale it all out. You guys did great. I will see you on Monday.